Alright the Reds, it's Talking Reds, and Talking Reds on the eve of the Premier League kicking off again. The champions facing Leeds United at Anfield, and they're going to strike first, strike hard, no mercy. I have been watching Cobra Kai, yeah. Neil, Klopp's just done his press conference and was very good in it. He said if he could stop speculation about Thiago, he'd be a very rich man. Very complimentary about Leeds United, and said that he thinks they'll do well in the Premier League, and maybe even the Premier League will suit them better than the Championship did. He was much more effusive about Leeds than Bielsa was about Liverpool, it's fair to say. Said fuck all in his press conference, just mumbled a few words and just sort of said, Anfield's not Anfield when there's no people in it, so I'm bringing me Booker and you can all do one.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, tell you what you want, that is channeling West Yorkshire, to be fair to him. No, I think Klopp's right, to be honest with you. I think Leeds are going to be a real threat. I think it's going to be a cracking game. I feel genuinely in a really weird way, because it's sort of snuck up on us. There's the international break. We're sort of a bit, I think people are going to be surprised by how good a game it is. I think Leeds are going to show so much intensity, and I think they're going to be determined to press Liverpool all over the pitch. If Liverpool play well, they'll turn them around, there'll be loads of space to play in. And I think that's going to be the real test for this Leeds United side, is what happens when the tactics they've used in the Championship against lesser players, listen, they'll still work at times in the Premier League, but you're more likely to get people be able to play past you, play through you. We've seen that as well at times when you press aggressively, it can go the other way. You know, they got the opening goal we conceded in the Charity Shield. We're right up on Arsenal, and they go pop, 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 feed it in, and they do really, really well. And I think that Leeds might have to live a bit of that, but whilst they're doing that, they could put us under massive pressure. I think it's going to be an absolute belter, and it is. And you know, listen, I'll mention it now, and we can get it all out the way. It is a massive shame we're not there. Yeah, first home game of the new season against as the champions. You know, I was gutted. I always say the Villa game after we won it, and then there was City away, and then there was the Villa home, and I was gutted that we couldn't be at that one almost more than some of the others. And then now, you know, to not get the first game of the season as champions at home. Listen, let's be honest about that. It is gutting, but that doesn't mean it's not a massive occasion and not a massive game of football, because I want to get to watch Liverpool be champions. And when we get back in grounds, whenever that is, I want Liverpool to be top of the pops as well. And that's what we should all want. You know, they've got to create the start of the season that allows us, whenever we get back in, whether it's 100%, whatever percent it is, when we each get back in, I want to watch the sides with champions and first. And that starts against Leeds.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is a shame. It's one of those, I always think the first day of the season's one of those where, you know, when you think back to it, it always feels like the sun's shining. Yeah. You know, you wear a new top and you meet the boys a little bit earlier than normal, and you have a pint and you go through all your match day routines. And, you know, we obviously won't have that tomorrow. But nevertheless, I think it is good to have the distraction back. It is good to have something to talk about back. You know, and there's a piece I read this week where it was like, you know, that a lot of people have said over and over, like, it's only football and it's not that important and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, well, yeah, we know, but it's still something that takes your mind off everything else that's going on. And that's the point.
But it was always the point. Yeah. It's just that everything else that's going on now impacts the football in a way that, you know, so rarely happens. Normally it is the escape, but there is a little thing where at the minute the game does that, but the game's also full of glory. These are our boys, and they've been our boys. You know, listen, we've watched them, and wherever you are in the world, you know, you've watched them in the company of people. You've seen them in supporters clubs, the supporters clubs that people go to. You may have got to one game at Anfield. You may be lucky, like we are, to have season tickets and get to 19 games. But they were your boys then, and they're our boys now. Yeah. And that hasn't changed. And and it's really funny, because this, for me, is where this flips a little bit. You know, I'm not going to miss, you know, or Chimikas aside, one of the things that, you know, every single one of these players I'm going to have seen play at Anfield before, if you know what I mean. And I'm lucky about that, but they're still those lads that we cheered on then. And I think that that's actually a positive in this, and that they can call all that to mind, and they know what that means, but we also know what it means going the other way. And the glory of it, forget the distraction part, let's remember the glory. These are the league champions, the thing that we wanted them to do, the thing we wanted any Liverpool side to do for 30 years. This is it. This is the first time as an adult I've watched a Liverpool game where they're the defending champions, first game of the season, first time it's happened. Yeah. And that's huge, and it's huge for all of us, and we shouldn't forget that. And we shouldn't forget that just because of all the other stuff that's going on and all of that sort of thing. We were in the ground when these won the league. When they were played 27, won 26, drawn 1, we were there for all of those matches. This is it. These are our champions, they're our boys, and they start again on Saturday. Yeah, absolutely. And remembering how good we are is the topic of a video that Jordan from the Anfield app has been working on for some time. It went out on social this morning, it's gone down very well. But if you missed it, here it is.
This might be the best Liverpool team I've ever seen.
I'm just dead excited to watch this team every single week.
These boys are mustard, they're all exceptional.
They've really whet my appetite for the new season.
Okay, great stuff there from Jordan, great bit of work. It went out on social this morning, as I say. Getting you in the mood for the big game tomorrow against Leeds United, the big kick-off of the Premier League. If you watched Jurgen's press conference today, you will have seen that one of the first questions levelled at him was, Jurgen, is that a new mug, lad? He said it wasn't. He said it was a bit of a presence off the kitchen staff or whatever. He said it had a nice cup of tea in it. I've got a nice cup of tea, but I've got a new mug. And Neil's got a new mug as well. Mine's a Henderson one, lifting the Premier League trophy. Neil's is a just won it. Based on, I don't know, maybe the phrase used by a famous sportswear or not. But yeah, basically those cups are available now on the Anfield app shop alongside all the usual stuff, t-shirts, hoodies, etc, etc. Go and check it all out. Kit yourself out for the new season. If you're starting to go back to the office as well, you might want a little mug, you know, to rub it in the face of blue noses and manx and things like that. That's what I was always using me mug for. Make us a brew there, blue nose with that Champions mug, will you, lad? But yeah, or you might just want to have...
It's amazing there were so many workplace disagreements surrounding you, Robbo, isn't it?
I mean, you know, I did work in Manchester for 10 years and unfortunately it was during a period where they were very successful.
Would you like one day back now? Just one day working in that office in Manchester, just being able to walk through it one more time?
Yeah, absolutely. Because the closest they ever got to it was when we first won, when Murphy scored at Old Trafford, ending a long sort of run of defeats there. And I literally came through the door, swiped through the door and just came in like this. Just like, ah! But we had I've mentioned them before on Anfield Rap stuff, we had a lawyer that came in every day and he was like a real annoying mank. And every day he'd come in and he'd go, how you feeling, Andy? Champion? Because they were champion and he got to say that every time they came in and I was just like, you know, and when I was celebrating us winning, it was thinking, where's Bob? Where's Bob? Where's Bob?
Knock around to Bob.
Yeah, go and knock on his front door. How you feeling, Bob? Because I'm feeling champion, you twat. But anyway, yeah, Jurgen Klopp's press conference.
He didn't mention any of this in his press conference.
No, none of that was in it. He did talk about tea and his cup. But he did also talk about that he's got pretty much a full complement of players, even the players that there were a little bit of a doubt about. He said they were in training today, the likes of Henderson, Tsimikas, even Shaqiri, the lesser spotted Shaqiri, was apparently in training today.
Yeah, all right.
Looking belter. So, you know, who knows, we might see the pocket rocket. But, yeah, what do you reckon in terms of team and stuff? Because
I really want Curtis to start. Really. Now, I don't think I'll get that. I think he will go with Gini, but I think he'll go with Keita. I don't think he'll rush Henderson. I think he'll think, yeah. I'm not worrying about that at this point. I think that it might be a bit closer between Matip and Gomez than people think. It wouldn't surprise me if he maybe just goes with Joel Matip a bit from nowhere, because I think they may look to press on Gomez a little bit, and he may even, I think, for instance, if Trent isn't close enough, he may go Gomez right back and Matip in. But I think he'll go Trent. I think he'll go Gomez but it wouldn't surprise me if it was Matip. And then I really would like it to be Keita and Jones. I really would, Fabinho, Keita and Jones. But if it isn't, that's absolutely fine. He gets to make those decisions. But I just think with the way Keita carries the ball and the way Kurt finds space, I just think there could be something really in that for Liverpool in this one against Leeds, because I think there will be space. I think whilst they'll be really intense, if you're intense and you get past it, there's room. And that's where I'd love to see Curtis. And then obviously the front three, I think will be the front three, Robertson at left back and obviously Virgil in there as well. But, you know, I think that is in there a little bit of a look. But I think he will probably err on the side of Wijnaldum. But I don't know, maybe, I mean, I always love, you know, young players who are attacking players. You know, I get carried away. I'm still completely on the Brewster train, no matter how much people talk about buybacks. So, you know, I just, but there's just something about watching Curtis Jones swagger his way around a footy pitch that I just love, and I'd like to see it on Saturday, but if it can't be done, it can't be done.
With Leeds as well, there's some interesting things, isn't there, in that, you know, they've obviously paid big money for the striker, Rodrigo. Do you throw him in on day one, or do you go with Bamford, who's a bit more physical? And then you've got the other big question mark for them is obviously Ben White was brilliant for them in the Championship. He stayed at Brighton. They did their best to try and get him. They've got this German fella now. Is it Koch?
It is Koch, yeah.
It looks like
it Koch.
So, you know, Koch stepping in for his debut at Anfield as well. You know, that could be something Liverpool will be looking to play on.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true, and I think that Liverpool will have a look at that. I'm on the idea of Bamford, Rodrigo. It wouldn't surprise me if they actually go with Bamford for an hour and think he knows the system, because Bielsa's so system orientated. I mean, it is all about the system. The players obviously matter, but he's done what he's done pretty much with this group of players. Brighton are hysterical, by the way. They've got about 6 really good centre-halves, and they've just kept them. And I genuinely think Brighton thought, we'll get 30 million for Lewis Dunk this summer, and no one's got any cash. And suddenly they're sat there now and they've got all these lads, but they don't want to take an offer for any of them because they rate them all much higher because they're all really good players. So it wouldn't surprise me if White still ends up somewhere if Dunk doesn't. But I think that's what they'll go with. I think they'll go with Bamford for an hour and then think, right, we've got Rodrigo to throw on and go from there. Could be wrong, could be talking out, you know, absolute nonsense, but it will just be intense. And we should be psyched up for that, and we should be excited about it because, listen, whether we're in the ground or not, 19 teams come to Anfield over the course of the season and 13 of them tend to sit in. These lads won't sit in, I don't think. They'll have a plan, but they won't sit in. So we should be looking forward to it and thinking, well, all right, we're going to get to play some football, because a lot of the time we are just coming up against just a side that sits on the edge of their own box, and I would be amazed if Leeds do that. Yeah,
5:30 it is tomorrow. You'll be able to watch it on the telly. And then if you subscribe to the Anfield app, you'll be able to get stuck into what we're doing, which is some of the same stuff and some new stuff. So there will still be a post-match podcast, there will still be a post-match video, but then we're going to try out some new stuff, aren't we?
Got loads of new stuff, so we've got some stuff coming out. The report will be out tomorrow morning, which is just me, a little 3-minute thing going through some tactics. We did the game with Mo around fantasy football. That's come out as well. It was really good. Mo was flying, was getting stuck right in on that one.
You picked your team?
I picked my team, yeah. Picked my team, Salah. I've gone Salah.
I've got Salah.
Yeah, good lad. Salah and Trent.
I've got Trent.
Yeah, we've got the same team, I suspect.
Aubameyang?
No, I left Aubameyang. I've decided I'm not that bothered by forwards. I've got boss midfielders.
Okay.
So I've got like the lad from Wolves. So you can do that. You can throw yourself into that as well. And we're going to go and do something that's a bit like, if you like, our bedding in series. We're going to be trying to do that once a week after the press conference. Loads of reasons why, but one, it justifies me and Robbo going for a pint on a Friday afternoon. So we're going to do that, and we're going to get that out for you tonight. It's called the Friday Night, and it'll be very much the vibe of bedding in, but talking about the game tomorrow and just seeing where we end up for about 20 minutes, and then handing it over to you for your Friday night. And then after the match on Sunday morning, me and Rob will be getting up doing the shape, which is a bit of a tacticsy one. I'm going to maybe do something with some photographs about the game, and it's going to be quite creative and possibly shit. And Robbo is going to do the moment, which is looking back at one moment of the match. And then on Monday, we've got the final word, which is Gareth going through all the media, whether it's online or offline, and working out what the final word is on the weekend. And I think you've got Craig for that one on Monday. Yeah. So it's, you know, we're absolutely flying completely different stuff around the matches on the video side, and all the really, really good podcasts that we've been doing for however many years now. And we're going to see how it goes. So do give us all your feedback the other side of Monday. And if you haven't signed up, theanfieldapp.com/subscribe. New season, new start on all of this stuff. But also, listen, we've got to find our way to enjoy this, and the best way to do it is together.
Yeah, and one of the easiest ways to get stuck into the stuff as well is just download the Anfield Apps app, which is free. It's available on whatever type of phone you've got, so Android or Apple. And you can, of course, then access our content. You'll get some free tokens on there as well, which will mean you can access some of the premium shows as well. And then hopefully the idea is if you like them, you subscribe and you get behind what we're doing. So yeah, the footy tomorrow, we're all really bang up for it. We're all really looking forward to it. We hope that this Talking Reds has got you in the mood a little bit to watch the champions tomorrow. We're going to go for, what are we saying? 100 and... What do you reckon they'll get? 100?
You were 114?
114.
114.
114.
Big ask, but they can do it.
Come on, the Reds. Up the Reds, that's been talking.